Hello everybody and welcome to the United Stand. Manchester United lose 4-2 to Liverpool. You can do your player ratings through the link in the video description. Mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average, star next to your man of the match, if you can find one. Because you know what? What a disappointment that was. I mean, look, it's not Ollie out. It's not fucking get rid of this, get rid of that. We're going to finish in the top 4. We're going to get Champions League football. We already know that. But what an opportunity missed, and also what an embarrassment. I mean, that was an opportunity for us to express what we are as a football club, to show something into next season. Ollie said this himself. This is Liverpool on their knees, and we got on our knees and took it. I mean, Liverpool, we could have put Liverpool, our biggest rival, into the Europa League, and we basically went there, cleaned them up, and we've given them top 4 now. We want Jadon Sancho, so do they. We've just opened the door for them to get Sancho. I mean, I still think we can get Sancho, but what a missed opportunity. And the reality is, it's not a missed opportunity because we didn't purposely lose the game. We lost the game because they're better than us. We lost the game because they dominated the midfield. We lost the game because, quite literally, we were spineless tonight. Without Harry Maguire, that defence was all over the shop. Without David De Gea, Dean Henderson just isn't good enough, I'm afraid. And that midfield too is shambolic. So you've got no spine, and you end up with Cavani and Bruno and Pogba and Rashford up front with no ball, going like, what's going on? Then we change it, you take Fred off, you put Pogba in the midfield, and suddenly things start to happen. You get Rashford on the left-hand side. But we didn't deserve to win that game. We didn't deserve to win that game. And I actually said, look, people will say, well, why is Ollie getting a free ride? Why are you going to give Ollie a free ride? I'm not going to give Ollie a free ride because I think that effectively, I'm still baffled by his substitutions. I still don't really understand what he is thinking about his substitutions. For me, McTominay should have come off for Van der Beek when it was 3-2. Pogba'd come in the midfield. It was a bit of a gamble. It worked. Now take McTominay off. He was on a yellow card. Take McTominay off. Put Van der Beek on. We need a goal. We need a bloody goal. We don't need a booked Scott McTominay to keep clambering around, whacking 5-yard passes here, there and everywhere. Put Donny on, try and make something happen. What does he do? He takes Eric Bailly off, who may well have been injured but bring Tuanzebe on, but he takes Bailly off to put McTominay at centre-back, to put Matic in the midfield. And what happens within a couple of minutes? Matic runs into a brick wall, they hit it into Salah. It's a sprint between Salah and McTominay may as well have been sinking in cement because he was nowhere near it. It was like a weird substitution when you're trying to get back into the game. And I think, you know, we hear today that Donny van der Beek has got no chance of going anywhere this summer and he'll be at United next year. But for what? Like, in what situation would Donny van der Beek be used next season? I can't understand it. You're 3-2 down to Liverpool. You need a bit of creativity. You need a goal. Pogba's in the midfield. Put Van der Beek next to him. Let's go for it. No. We can't take McTominay off. Let's bring Matic on and put McTominay at centre-back. I'm like, ooh, I just don't understand it. But ultimately, that's the only thing I'd have a go at Ollie for. I thought his substitutions late on were poor, but I thought getting Greenwood on happened at the right time. I thought putting Pogba into the midfield was the right thing to do as well. I just think defensively, we are absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. 4 goals conceded. When you look at those goals, the first one, Henderson shouldn't even come for it. I mean, if he comes for it, he should punch it clear. He doesn't. The second one, Pogba on the back post. Awful. Absolutely awful. The third goal, Fred, Luke Shaw, and Henderson again spilling it. And the fourth goal, Matic running into a brick wall. And I think on the fourth goal, look, why is Henderson so close to his goal line? Salah's running at him for ages. Close the bloody angle. I'm telling you, watch that fourth goal if you can bear it. Henderson leaves half the goal. I would have scored that. I expect a top-class goalkeeper to close that angle. Make me have to work. He stays on. He's not even on the edge of his 6-yard box. He's actually in the 6-yard box, and Salah's ran from the halfway line. At least get out to the penalty box. If he wants to try and chip you, let him chip you, but don't leave half the goal open. But I mean, it's irrelevant. We were going to lose anyway. I just thought we were defensively absolutely shit. And yes, we did miss Harry Maguire. But I still think we would have conceded some of those goals anyway. And look at the prat they've got. They've just wheeled out Captain Phillips. I mean, we didn't exploit their defence and they exploited ours. It was always going to be whose defence is going to creak the most, and ours bloody creaked like an old floorboard. It was terrible, absolutely defensively awful. And I don't think individually, I can't say Lindelof was crap or Bailly was crap or Shaw was crap or Wan-Bissaka, but collectively as a unit, it just didn't work at all, and it really did cost us. But let's not also ignore the fact that Scott McTominay played 90 minutes. How? Fred was pulled off, and thank God he was. Those two players are shocking. They're absolute. How have we... I've got to applaud Ollie for getting second in the league with those two. I mean, they are bordering on incompetent. They cannot do anything. Why are we trying to pass out from the back when you've got Scott McTominay and Fred? We come out for the second half. Lindelof tries to pass out through the back through Fred. Fred loses the ball. Luke Shaw loses the ball. They score a goal. But why are we passing out from the back? Who in the training system is saying it's a good idea to pass out the back when you've got Fred and McTominay there? You're going to pass out from the back against a team that can press in the best league in the world with those two. If it's Scott McTominay and it's bloody Kante or whoever, try it. But if it's Paul Pogba and Kante, try it. But not Scott McTominay and Fred. Why are we passing out from the back with those two in midfield? They couldn't run a bath. They can't run that midfield. And you know what? I think with Maguire there, we can sit back, we can keep a clean sheet. This was the thing we spoke about before the game. Mark, would you be able to put auto-generated captions on live videos? I have a hearing impairment and it would help. I don't know how to do it, Connor. The worst thing is the board are rubbing their hands together. I'll look into that, Connor. Running their hands together already. I'm seeing the fans being blamed, divide and conquer, says Cameron Stacey. The defensive wall outside the ground did a better job than the defence inside the ground, says Marcus Wynn. Henderson got found out for 2 of the goals today. Poor hands and poor positional sense. McFred ended up being McSoft at the back for the last 10, says Steve Locke. I think Rashford is much better on the left, and I think it also helps Luke Shaw play better as they have a very good relationship. Yeah, he was a lot better when he went out to the left. But I think what we really did see today is that for so many games this season, McTominay and Fred, Maguire and Lindelof, they don't concede many goals. Maguire doesn't play today, and we're going to concede 4. And I think that just shows people might not want to admit this, but what Harry Maguire does do is he obviously has a go at them. He obviously tells them where to be, and he's obviously doing it because he's protecting himself. And bubble wrap FC or whatever, but that's what we do, and it's quite effective. We don't concede many chances, but tonight we were all over the place. And I'm going to say it, and I'm going to say it again and again and again and again. We finished second in the league this year. That's a really good performance from Manchester United over a 38-game season. To be second in the league, it's really, really good. But I'll say it again. How are we going to win a league next season with McFred? We're not. You can't do it. They're not good enough. I wish they were good enough. They're not good enough. We will not win a league title with McFred. And they can watch it at home right now and get really angry, but we're not going to do it. We're not going to do it. And Ollie seems to think that we are going to do it. Where is the midfielder that we're going to go and buy? Because we're crying out for a midfielder. He's got to go and do it. He clearly wants to pass out from the back. They aren't good enough to pass out from the back. They don't pick up the runners. They're too slow. They're not disciplined enough. And they don't feed the attackers quick enough. The reason we scored the second goal is because Luke Shaw gets the ball and thinks, fuck this, I'm not passing it through the midfield. Bypasses the midfield, knocks it into Bruno, who does a little flick, into Cavani, who plays Rashford in. And it's a goal. The midfield ain't good enough. Poor play by the entire defence. Henderson not innocent in that. Forwards barely got the ball. The entire team was flat. Not good enough. McFred out, says Grant. The fans have had more time protesting than Donny has had time on the pitch, says Rinsler. And also, there was a couple of things I did want to talk. Player ratings I'm going to do in a moment. Links in the video description. Mark every player out of 10. 6 being the average. Star next to your man of the match. I think these player ratings are going to be very, very interesting. So we'll get onto that in a minute. Ben Wild says, Rice, Varane are vital for a title charge this season. We should be playing 4-3-3 with a holding midfield, giving Pogba the freedom to create from centre mid. Ben, I just hope Pogba's going to bloody stay. Imagine how shit we're going to be if Pogba goes. Because, look, we don't need Pogba in the front 4. I think he does a good job there. But I feel a bit vindicated tonight because I've always said that I prefer Pogba in the midfield. And I know people like him as a left wing or whatever, but I like Pogba in the midfield. I think Pogba has an ability to hit a 30-40 yard pass that not many people do. I think Paul Pogba is better centrally. And I think, today we saw that again. If Ollie wants to progress next season, we need a top-class centre-back and a CDM. So poor on and off the ball today. Don't want to hear about Sancho anymore, says Amandeep. Mark, how confident are you with his winning the Europa League? Feel he's going to take the heat off Glazers by losing the Europa League, says Srinvasan. We can see that Ollie plays Magaluf because they can play passes from deep better than McFred, which is ridiculously sad. That midfield is horrid, says Devon. Devon, I think you've hit on a great point tonight. I think with Lindelof and Bailly tonight, they couldn't get forward. First 20 minutes we did, and then Liverpool figured it out. We went deeper and we couldn't play through their press. Why is everyone all of a sudden Ollie out to get us where we are this season with the team he's got? He's brilliant. CDM and defender away from a decent team, says Mark James. I agree with that. Fred is a disgrace. We didn't lose because of Maguire. We lost because Fred kept passing the ball direct to their players. Also, why did Ollie switch out his fastest defender for a bag of cement, says Vabuff. And are we really going to sell De Gea? Could be a huge mistake, says David. I think, you know what? I look at that team tonight and it was spineless, quite literally. Jurgen Klopp was speaking before this game about if you haven't got a spine, you can't move forward. And we've lost our spine this season. We're having to move midfielders to centre-back and not having centre-backs. United tonight was spineless. And not spineless because they're cowards or jelly babies or anything like that. They were spineless because they didn't have a spine. Look through that team. Henderson was poor. The centre-backs were poor as a pairing and the midfielders were typically poor again. If you haven't got a spine, you can't win a game. You put David De Gea in goal, you bring Harry Maguire back, you put Pogba in the midfield and suddenly you start to get a spine. It's not as strong as it could be, but it's a bit of a spine. We were spineless today. This is where leadership is really important. This is where Harry Maguire actually is important. This is where David De Gea is important. This is where if you take the British passport away from Dean Henderson and he's Portuguese, do we really even have this conversation? I like Dean Henderson. I think he's got a big future, but I don't think he's ready to take the spot from David De Gea, who is a leader. And I think it's a big mistake. I think Ollie needs to have a big think about this and go, look, I like Dean. He's a good goalkeeper, but I've seen tonight that, am I going to let him play 38 games next season? I tell you what, you could lose your job off that. First 4 games of the season next year, we lose a few because of Henderson. Everyone's going to be Ollie out because they're going to you lost a goalkeeper that was fine. He was prime. What are you doing? So, needs to have a long, hard think with himself there. Really, really does. But look, at the end of the day, I still think centre-back CDM is what we need to do. What will be with the goalkeeper. SOS, Phil Jones, ready with his pink boots, says Quinn Star. Defensively, we've been terrible all season. Scott has the passing range of a 5-year-old. Hendo doesn't work. The season's done, but Liverpool 4-2 hurts, says Babath. Henderson is awful. What has he done to deserve a place over De Gea? I never want to hear this argument again. De Gea's streets ahead of him, says Daniel Rowan. We really could have sent Liverpool to the Europa League. The race for top 4 will be interesting now, considering that Chelsea and Leicester will play each other, says Morera. I'm pissed off. If you're a Chelsea fan or you're a West Ham fan or you're a Leicester fan, I'm sorry, because we really, as our biggest rival, we've bottled it today. We really, really should not have lost at Old Trafford to Liverpool. Even a point would have fucked them up. And they've come and took, to be fair to Liverpool, they deserved the 3 points, but we should have done a lot better. We don't have a bad team, but you guys really think we can get second next season. Next season will be our regular season. This manager will be found out, says Leo Man United. Mark, why on earth isn't Ollie using Donny at all? It's kind of disappointing. I think we should get Marquinhos, says Victor. The football is too slow. CDMs don't turn quick and feed front four. Long way away from being a good fast footballing side. Reality check next season, says Nay. And Fred's best movement was being subbed, says Sakin. Look, I don't want to go on about the midfielders too much. I think we all know the problem there. But all I can say is, I've over the last few weeks, I've watched quite a bit of Chelsea, bit of Man City, even Leicester, Liverpool again tonight. Their midfield, whether it's Kovacic and Jorginho, or it's Gundogan and Rodri, or it's Fabinho and Wijnaldum, or it's Tielemans and Ndidi, they move the ball quick. Even Brighton do it. They move the ball quick forward. It's pass and move. It's triangles. It's pass the ball and move yourself. We're so fucking static. McFred are so static. They stand next to each other. They put their foot on the ball. They do a little 5-yard pass. There's no invention. There's no drive. They are basically being picked because they run around a lot and they put their foot in. They are Duracell bunnies. You watch our midfield compared to Liverpool, Man City, Chelsea, even Spurs. Like, we are so static. It's such a dull midfield. And that's Manchester United Football Club. Manchester United, how many times have I said, Tell me a club in the Premier League that would say, yeah, we'd rather play McFred than what we've got. I don't think Southampton would rather play McFred. Brighton wouldn't want to play McFred. There's not many. I mean, Sheffield United probably would. West Brom probably would. Would Fulham? I don't know. Then they're just not good enough. It's not about individuals. They're not good enough. As a pair, they're not good enough. Somebody said it on the watch along. If McFred fused together as one player, they still wouldn't get in the team. And that's true. They still wouldn't. Right, let's do the player ratings. Links in the video description. You can catch me up. I'm just going to refresh them. Every player out of 10. 6 being the average. Very disappointed by tonight, by the way. If it hasn't come across, very, very, very disappointed. Right, we've had nearly 10,000. That's a good source to do it. Right. So let's start off. Dean Henderson for me tonight. Well, I've said it. I'm not gonna dwell on this. De Gea should be our goalkeeper. I don't know why we've had this situation that's been. And you know what annoys me about the media about the goalkeeping situation? I like Henderson. I prefer De Gea, but I like Henderson. I don't like the media agenda about forcing a goalkeeper in out for somebody else. It always felt a little bit wrong. And you know what the worst thing about the last 2 months and the goalkeeping argument that we've had to endure in the mainstream media is that they got it wrong. We never should have been talking about the goalkeeper. Why weren't they talking about the defence and the midfield? That's where the agenda should have been going on. Misplaced agenda for something that's totally irrelevant. Look at all the goals we conceded this season. I'm just watching this 4th goal. Henderson, he's too close to his goal on that chance. Watch this now. It's on Sky Sports. Watch Henderson's position. He runs all the way back into his 6-yard box. He should stay there. No, you've gone too far. You've gone too far. He's too close to his goal line. He's got to go closer. He's left such a big gap. He's got to go forward. He's about 2 metres further back than where he should be, but it's 4-2 at that point. So yeah, first goal's on Henderson. He shouldn't come for the cross and he should punch it. Second goal is on Pogba. Third goal, Henderson again spills it. Fourth goal, his positional sense is crap. For me, he's a 4 tonight. He wasn't good. He wasn't good at all. You've given him 3.3. I nearly gave him 4.5, but I'll go with a 4. Wan-Bissaka, to be fair, possibly a man of the match contender. I can't think of anything that Wan-Bissaka did that cost us, really. And energetic, but I'd probably give him a 6, 5.8. Yeah. Lindelof, look, you've conceded 4 goals. You ain't getting a 6, mate. 5. If you concede 4 goals, you're getting a low score. I'm sorry. I think 5 for me, 4 for you. Eric Bailly, well, if it's got to be a 5, hasn't it? 4.2 for you. I mean, you can't argue with it. We were poor. We were defensively very, very poor. We need to buy a good centre back. Luke Shaw, probably one of his worst games for United tonight. Very energetic, but didn't really. I think when Luke Shaw played at Anfield, he was man of the match. He was nowhere near man of the match tonight. I think Luke Shaw probably gets a 5 for me, 4.7. I applaud people for that because we all love Luke Shaw. For me, he's arguably player of the season. But tonight he wasn't good, and he was at fault in that 3rd goal, wasn't he? Straight after half time. So yeah, not a good night for Luke at all. McTominay 4. I mean, look, I think that's generous. You lot have given him a 3. I mean, there was a few good passes towards the end where he's hitting long balls, although they weren't accurate, were they? But I just don't see what he offers. I really am at the point now where I'd play Pogba and Van der Beek, and I know people would go that can't work, but the point is now, I know Pogba and Van der Beek doesn't work, but they're better footballers than Fred and McTominay who don't work. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no point saying you can't play Pogba and Van der Beek together anymore because we play Fred and McTominay and they're useless. They can't pass. They don't pick the runners up. I actually think Van der Beek and Pogba are worth a shout in the midfield too. It doesn't logically work, but McFred doesn't work either. So I'm just like... And you know what the thing is? At half-time, people were saying Fred was playing well. He's not playing well. He's just not playing shit. That's the problem. When they actually do okay now, it gets lauded up as like prime bloody Kante. It's not prime Kante. It's more like prime Romu. They're not that good. But sometimes they don't play totally shit. So everyone goes, oh, actually, they're having a good game. They're having a good game. They're just not making mistakes. And lo and behold, Fred comes out the second half and he's bloody awful. Fred, what did I give McTominay for? I'm going to give Fred a 4. I mean, 2.3. I actually thought first 20 minutes Fred played really well. I don't think McTominay played really well first 20 minutes. So I actually think in that game, Fred did play well for 20 minutes. I even wrote it down here. I even tweeted it. First 20 minutes of that game, let's call a spade for a minute. First 20 minutes of that game, even check my tweets, really liked it. High press, boxed them in, high line. Fred was pressing, McTominay was pressing, and for 20 minutes it was all right. But second half, he was absolutely dreadful. The fans have had more time press. I've done that one. The fans want Ollie gone. Winning a wish UEFA Cup won't change that. No progress since Jose. They don't want fans gone. I don't want Ollie gone, Max. Pogba was brilliant in Juve, but today it looked like that top game was too fast for him. He lost the ball a lot. Man United forever, says Andreas. Mark, if we played with the team against Leicester, we probably would have done better, says Pro Rocket. Bruno, I actually thought Bruno was... I actually think Bruno was one of our best players. Both goals... He scored the first one. Second goal, the flick. I thought he worked really hard. I just don't think he got enough of the ball. I'm going to be saying the same about Cavani. I mean, he's not going to get the ball, is he, in a game like that? Because you've got McFred and the defence playing like that. But I'd probably give Bruno a 6. Average 6. Yeah, fair play. I'd give him that. Rashford, I mean, you keep Rashford on the pitch because of that goal. That's what he's on the pitch for. But... probably a 5 Rashford today. 5.5 is probably about right. When he went to the left, he was really good. Again, look, I'm a big fan of Marcus Rashford. He was getting absolute pelters in the first half in the live chat. I'm going to say this again. I think it's bollocks. I think it's absolute bollocks. It has to be bollocks. You know what we were told a week or two ago, that Rashford's feeling fitter than he's ever done? I don't think he's fitter than he ever was. I think he's still carrying an injury. I think if I was marking Rashford on the right wing, I'd have probably given him a 4. If I'm marking him on the left wing, I'd probably give him a 6, 6.5. So he probably is a 5.5, to be fair. I think your score's right. But I don't think he's fit. I don't think Rashford's fit at all. I really don't think he's fit. He's not putting a lot of energy in when he's running back. I think we're playing a half-fit player. Pogba today, I thought when he went into midfield was a lot better. I thought on the left-hand side, he didn't do particularly well, and obviously he was at fault for the goal, so I'd probably give him a 5 today. I thought he was a lot better when he went into midfield, but he was really poor on that goal, and that's a key goal as well. So, yeah, I mean, I love Pogba and I love Luke Shaw, but I can't give him high scores just because I love them. I haven't done it with Martial in the past, and I've not done it with Bruno, so I'm gonna be fair. Cavani today got an assist, absolutely fucking nothing. Graveyard shift again. It's such a shame because over the last few weeks, somebody said to me after the Villa game, oh, everyone said the number 9's a graveyard shift, but now Cavani's there, it's not. And I'm like, yeah, it's not, because Pogba and Bruno are playing behind him instead of having 2 wide forwards. Today, we went back to the graveyard shift again. Absolutely no service at all. No service for Cavani at all today. So, probably a 5 for him today. 5.3, 5.5, yeah, that's fair enough. Mason, I'd give him a 6. He nearly scored. One thing I would say about Mason Greenwood at the moment is whether he has a good game or not, he just looks lively. He looks vibrant. It could have been 3-3. He was so unlucky not to make it 3-3. But he's one of them players who just makes things look like they're going to happen. And I think he's going to be a fantastic number 9 for us. I really do. But yeah, he made a difference when he came on. Pogba goes into the midfield. Greenwood on the right. Rashford on the left. We looked a better side. Matic... 3. I mean, I don't even understand what that substitution was about, and he cost us the game. Well, the game was probably going to be lost anyway, but it was over at 4-2. And then that leaves us with Ollie, who ultimately, I guess, with Ollie, we've got to give him a low score. I think. I think that that's what we need to do. I'm trying to think. Ollie. Oi. I would say today, how much was down to Ollie today? I suppose that's the question. Some people are saying 4 and 5. I'm actually going to give him a 5 today. I think, and I expected the low score, but at the end of the day, Ollie's very loyal and he goes with what he goes with. I knew what team he was going to pick on Tuesday night. I knew he was going to pick that team that he picked today on Tuesday night, right? The reason I would give Ollie a lower score today, Can says, I thought it was stupid to give away the Leicester game, beat them and give away Liverpool points. Bad decision. No, that's silly, Can. You couldn't have played you couldn't have played the team 2 days later. You talk about the game when they tried to take it away from us. You are part of the problem. The Glazers love how many subs you have. Says AJ. I don't know what you're talking about, mate. Mark, you keep dividing and conquering, mate. Well done. You keep spreading your negativity. Everyone else is trying to spread unity in the fan base. You keep dividing. Mark, I think that Mason has to start in the final at the moment. He's important to our team. The whole team balance is much better with him, says Amadeep. And we need Sancho, we need Rice or Basuma. We need any centre-back that can defend Glazers out, says Liam. The reason I'm going to give Ollie a 5 today is because, and look, you lot have given him a 3.3. I think the goalkeeping situation has shown a real inexperience from the manager. To be drawn into that situation has really exposed him today, because I think if De Gea was in goal, we wouldn't have lost that game. I know that's a big statement, but I don't think we would have lost that game because we would have had some leadership in the back five. They were all over the place. There was no leader in that back five, and it showed. No organisation, no confidence. With Maguire and De Gea there's a confidence, and we didn't have it today, and it was all over the place. So I think Ollie getting drawn into this bloody goalkeeping situation at the business end of the season is amateur. He never should have done that. He shouldn't have decided to go with Dean in March, and it's cost us tonight. I also think that the substitution for Matic was ridiculous. I really think putting Scott McTominay at centre-back with Lindelof, they're so slow, they may as well lie down and roll their way back to the goal line. That was weird. Why not just bring Tuanzebe on? And I also think Van der Beek should be playing more game time, because McTominay offers next to nothing in the CDM role. So I think that Ollie's loyalty and some of his decisions were a bit off tonight. But ultimately, I also think individualism cost us. Every goal was preventable tonight. I think 2 or 3 are on the goalkeeper and 2 or 3 are on individual players. So we still scored 2 goals as well. So it's not, look, anybody who starts going Ollie out for me is a joker, really. That sort of thing is just too far, you know. But it's disappointing tonight. It's a missed opportunity tonight. And unfortunately, what tonight is, it's another question mark about the mentality of this team, and how it performs in the crunch games. Because I think we are desperately lacking in certain areas, and I think that also we always seem to fail at this hurdle. Second place isn't first place. The Europa League final's not the Champions League. Beating beating Villa is not beating Liverpool, and I think we're trying to be title winners, and I think the same thing resonates. We won't win the title with that spine today, whether it be the goalkeeper, the centre backs, or the midfield. That's where we need to improve. We need a new centre back and we need a new CDM, and they need to be the best. And until we do that, we're never going to challenge. Do I think we could win the title with Henderson in goal? Probably not, but I think he's a good goalkeeper. We can't win a title with Maguire and Lindelof, and we can't win a title with McFred. Maguire needs a top quality centre back next to him, and McFred don't need to play. Worrying a Liverpool with academy centre backs won comfortably, says Kevin. Rashford's inability to track back is worrying. Whichever side he plays on results in either Shaw or Wan-Bissaka having to do 2 jobs. I just don't think he's fit, Ryan. Greenwood should have started on the right and bring Rashford on second half, says Wan. And Roop Op said he will be live until you come to his streams. He started his YouTube career during the pandemic. Small support can lead to huge motivation, says Yash. Well, I'm going to have a look at what he's doing. Roop Op. I will check it out. Anyway, I've not done player match. Played our B team against Leicester for our A team to go and do that. Disgraceful. What a way to end the season on an embarrassment, says Bob Dylan. Well, it's not the end of the season at the end of the day. It's not the end of the season yet. Let's do man of the match. So my man of the match is... Well, I'm just going to give it to Bruno. It's either Bruno or Wan-Bissaka. I'm going to give it to Bruno because I thought he worked really hard. 51%. Wan-Bissaka got 32% of the vote, and then it was shared out amongst other people. So Bruno Fernandes, man of the match. Make sure you smash a like on the video, by the way. Bruno Fernandes, your man of the match. And look, I just want to say as well, when all said and done, we have finished in the top 4. We've grinded out a lot of results this season, but whether you are uncertain about the manager, uncertain about the club, wherever you are with this situation, just remember there was protests outside the ground today. This club will not be able to win titles with that team. To win titles, this team needs building on. And to build on, we need proper owners. Do not let the fire go out. There was somebody stood on the pitch today saying the Glazers love the club and they're investing in the club. They don't love the club. They don't invest in the club. Very, very important that we keep united on the most important things. I think Ollie's done a great job. I think those players have done a great job. They will not finish second next season. Never will they finish second next season. And if they do, they won't finish first because it's not good enough. We're not good enough. We all know. The scary thing is we all know deep down that we've overachieved this season, which is why Ollie deserves a lot of credit. We've overachieved this season. We're second place because Chelsea underachieved for half the year and Liverpool have underachieved for all of the year. If Liverpool and Chelsea get their act together next season, even if we overachieve, we won't get second. You know what I'm saying? We've overachieved and got second whilst Chelsea and Liverpool have underachieved. If they get back to normal, our overachievement will not be able to stop them going past us. We are not in the comfortable position we need to be. Centre-back, CDM, and if you want to get Sancho, fine. But centre-back, CDM, 100% definitely needed. Thanks everyone for watching. Let's get on to the fan forum. You were going to raid it with De Gea in. De Gea in the fan forum. I'll see you over there. Thanks for watching. Smash a like on the video, subscribe, and I'll speak to you soon.